My name is Alison Simmons, and my sister Lisa is a beautiful resistance because she has been able to really support people who have a story to tell in many ways. I mean, she supports them in terms of film, she supports them in terms of helping them write, but I think that's a beautiful resistance when you can work with people and lift them up and have them tell their stories is a beautiful resistance.
My name is Lisa Simmons, and my sister Alison and my family are a beautiful resistance because they are amazing support. I do think a beautiful resistance is that having that love and support of your family. And for me, for Rox Film, for everyone involved in it, is that my sister is a part of that. And it's funny that we say that because one of the things that we do in Thanksgiving is go around and say, what are you thankful for? And one of the things this year is I did say, I am thankful that my sister is with me in this journey and continues to be part of that journey. And I think that is a beautiful resistance.
And your son said he thanked me for not getting rid of Disney Plus. So it goes on the spectrum.
Rox 25 years of Roxbury Film Fest. Unbelievable. And I get to be here at the Museum of Fine Arts Boston, where a lot of the magic happens with Rox Film Fest, with Lisa and Alison, the sisters of Rox Film Fest.
That sounds so great, actually.
Yeah.
What's your earliest memory of film?
I think my earliest memory was Fantasia. It was like this amazing film that was just animation, and it was like energy, and it was beautiful, and there was dancing, whatever, and it was just like unbelievable.
I remember Mom took us to see Pearl Bailey and Hello Dolly.
Oh, that's right.
And Cab Calloway. So I do remember that. I remember that more than I remember my first film.
How did you feel?
It was great. It was really great and alive, and our family is very involved in theater, so it was just really nice.
Tell me about how Rox Film Fest came to be. How are we here celebrating 25 years?
So I was an actress for a number of years. I was doing a lot of industrial work. I was doing theater. When I got out of college, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I want to be an actress, and so I did it. But what I realized in Boston was it wasn't really about whether you had talent. It was really about what you look like as a person of color. Do I need someone who's dark skinned? Do I need light skin? Do I need curly hair? Do I need straight hair? So you never really got the opportunity to dive into a role. And so one day I was at a casting, and I thought, we really need an organization that's going to bring people together to create their own stories. And so Rox Film started as the Dudley Film Festival, and then the Roxbury Film Festival, and now the Roxbury International Film Festival.
And then how did you two come to work together? I know you're sisters, so obviously you're always in each other's lives, but how did you come to work together on Rox Film Fest?
Actually, in the beginning, I wasn't really involved. I mean, mostly, Lisa had a committee with Candelaria and Michael Trent, and they would do all the programming and stuff, and then we would just be asked to go get a DVD or to go pick up someone from the airport. And then when, Roxbury International Film Festival started developing and some of the partners went away, then I started doing more of a role. And I thought, oh my God, this would be really fun. And I get to spend 6 months with my sister. Like,
in a dedicated 10 days. We're like,
in a dedicated 10 days.
24/7, 10 days.
What's that like?
It's so funny because people will say, you work with your sister? And I'm like, I can't even imagine my life without my sister. What are you talking about? Like, we're so similar, but then we're so not. Like I am like up here in like whatever this world is, and Alison's like bringing me down, like to the ground and say, okay, this is what we need to do.
Festival last year, and another. Well, then
One film festival.
They're sisters, by the way, if you can't.
and one that you're going to sneak preview.
It's fun. It's great to be able to have like your best friend and your, sister like doing something that you're passionate about, and now she's also very passionate about it.
Yeah, there's no friction. I mean, when we choose movies, we do have favorites, and sometimes Lisa's favorite ends on the floor. And
so does hers. And then I'm like, where's that film? Aren't we scheduling that? I don't see it anywhere. And then and I'm like, oh, you threw it on the ground.
Well, because you're more of a sci-fi Star Wars person.
Oh, yeah.
I am more Star Trek than Star Wars, but
But it's funny because that wasn't really a big part of the festival before Alison came on. I mean, there were, maybe because there weren't a lot of films like that, but Alison has really sought out films around Black sci-fi and, nerds of color, and really looking into places that we can find these films that have been an amazing addition to the festival.
Ancestors sending clues, I'm sending gratitude back, 'cause the whole world outside.
If she's Star Trek, then you are, and sorry to the Trekkies. She does like Star Wars. I have to apologize now on the record to the Trekkies. 'Cause
I like both.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to get in trouble. As I sit with my other Star Trek, for real.
Right.
If she's Star Trek, then what would your vibe be?
My vibe is more like romantic comedies. I hate to say it. I'm a huge rom-com. I love stories that, have this little conflict, and then there's this great ending, and everyone feels happy at the end. And but yeah,
It skips away.
It skips away, and then it's after the credits.
So you're like best man.
Yes, yeah, Best Man, Love Jones, even like Soul Food and all of those like family, like those types of films. Yeah, I really
We can't even get on. You already know how you and I feel about Love Jones, so we
I
can't.
know.
We can't even go there today. That's a whole nother episode. But I mean, I am glad you brought up Love Jones, because part of why you created or came together with your collective and created Color of Film, and then eventually this festival, is because it is really hard, not just for Black filmmakers to make film, but especially for films about love and joy that don't have violence or suffering, which is, partly why I created A Beautiful Resistance, was so that there was a journalistic arm also telling stories of love and joy. What have you learned in 25 years of doing this festival about the power of gathering and making space for people to create and to partake in witnessing each other this way?
It is an invaluable experience to come to the theater with people that look like you, to see people on the screen that look like you, and validate your family, validate your love for the outdoors, validate your love for science. Like, these are all these types of films that are up on the screen that are showing a continuum of people of the diaspora that you don't see in mainstream media, right? And so, which is why independent film festivals for me are really important, especially Black independent film festivals, because you are bringing together audiences and filmmakers alike who are unearthing these stories. And for us to understand, that's why we do what we do. When a filmmaker says, I've never had a response to an audience to my film like that, that to me is pure joy.
And I think also, we're also conditioned to see the same things of how we're represented on the film. So every year that we're looking at films, people are learning. They're learning about a different part of their culture. They're unconditioning themselves out of kind of the violent movies that most people want African Americans to make, to the ones that have joy, that have travel, that have kind of a newness, and they come out learning.
The filmmaker hangouts and just being in the festival plays such a pivotal role in their future as filmmakers. Can you go into detail about why it is so important, not just for audiences, but for actual filmmakers to place in these festivals?
Understanding that having them come to Roxbury and giving them that opportunity to be here, that they will then be able to move on to other festivals. And so that's important as they're building their reel, as they're building their career, that someone has to give them a start, and someone has to believe in them. And I think that's a big part of sort of like our mission and our work and why we're so passionate about what we do.
And they get to network with other filmmakers and oftentimes start collaborating with people that they have met here at Roxfilm. So that's important too.
And you're a filmmaker.
So Alison and I and my mom were cleaning out my aunt's closet, and we found all of this information from the Negro Theater, from the Boston Negro Theater. It was the WPA. So the WPA, it was the first time in history that the government has supported theater. And one of those was these theater groups, like the Yiddish theater, the Irish theater, and one was called the Negro Theater. And Boston was one of those places where there was a Negro theater that was funded by the federal government. And my grandfather was a stage manager, and all of my aunts and uncles were writers and directors and producers and actors in it. And we found this whole box of information from in my aunt's closet that she had kept all the clippings and all the pictures. And so I was like, I have to do a film about this. So I did a short film, and for 20, 30, some odd years, still in the making, it needs to get done.
It's Boston history, but this is also your legacy. This is your family legacy. Like, in so many ways, it feels like Rox Film Fest was always calling to you.
And it's so funny that you say that, because it's true. It's sort of like they did this in theater, and we're doing it in film.
Yeah.
25 years is a long time to make something like this happen. Like, I am in awe, inspired, and grateful that this exists and that you're still going. But I also know the unique challenges to making things like this happen. So tell me some of the hurdles involved in sustaining Rox Film Fest.
You'd think after 25 years and having a track record and bringing people in, people come to Boston for the film festival. We've proven that. We've proven ourselves. But each year we still have to prove ourselves. There are other institutions that don't have to do that. And so, yeah, that's frustrating, but it's not going to keep us back. We're going to figure out a way to make sure we do that we make sure that this happens, that we know how important it is for the community. It's important for our filmmakers.
When you think about the festival 25 years from now, what do you want it to look like?
For the 25th anniversary, we're creating a Rox Film Fund, and that is something that we want to see go forward, where we're hoping to raise $100,000 to be able to give filmmakers funding. We did this a while ago under Color of Film, and it was incredibly successful, and it was wonderful. And there's not enough film funds, foundations that support Black and Brown filmmaking, and so I think that's where I see it too in 25 years. I see myself watching from the seats as, a new generation is up here doing the same thing, because I think there are so many more stories to tell, and we need it.
So I think the most important thing for me is that, we pass the mantle on to people who will continue to have Roxbury International Film Festival grow with whatever mediums and whatever space and place is in 25 years. And that, we do envision a cultural center in Nubian Square, and that Rox Film be part of that, whether it's a standalone movie theater or whether it's, gaining more money through this fund to be able to support young filmmakers.
Indeed. Thank you both for sharing your beautiful resistance with me. And I'm so excited to celebrate Rox 25 coming
June 20th.
June 20th.
2023, with a silver celebration and some really
Films.
wonderful programs.
Rox 25, June 20th, 2023. We'll see you there, Boston. And everybody else too. You're invited. Come. Pull up.